Yeah, and I wasn't sure if I was live or not, guys. And the little pen that's on my Galaxy, and I can turn it on from a distance, but I don't use it that much. I usually just hit the button on the thing. All right, so yesterday we were dealing with him starting to bubble over and get all excited and started barking when I'm trying to get him to understand the good duration marker. And then I'm starting to add him negative punishment by trying to turn my back to him, and it's bubbling over. So you got two choices. You can either keep trying and keep trying to convey the thought to the dog, and he's so smart and intelligent. But the other thing we're dealing with is his attention span, for A, and his energy level, his emotional states of mind when he comes out here. They're bubbling over because he's so into the pattern that I've got pattern set coming out here. Remember, it started in the kitchen. We were just saying good in that kitchen little alcove, and we were starting to try to convey the good duration marker to him. He's only a baby. He's only 11 weeks old. Got to keep reminding yourself that. He's only a puppy. So, and he's also a puppy that's very high drive Dutch Shepherd. So you're dealing with a creature that has the tendencies to have a very high energy level anyway. And when you set in classical conditioning, you set in conditioning to a point that we have it, that's what's happening. And it's created, and this is what people don't get. I don't understand why people don't understand this. They say, my dog doesn't have food drive. My dog doesn't have such and such drive. Why? Well, 90% of the time, it's because you don't know how to increase it and to get it to go, right? When I want to increase the food drive, I end up using manipulation of food. I'm taking him out in the morning when he's naturally hungry. This is dinner. This is breakfast time. He's going to naturally be hungry. And then I do a lot of tease, take it away, a lot of little things. I heated the hot dogs up in the microwave so they get more scent to them, right? I do anything I possibly can to get him to want this food and to increase that want in the food. And when the dog's young like this, and I start working with a dog, I can bring these things out in most 90% of the dogs I work with. There's very few dogs that are so set that they don't like food, okay? And or ball drive or any other retrieve drive. Some dogs may have less of it because of their breed, because of previous behavior and things that are set in. There may be little challenges that you might face, but in a general sense, there's nothing that I can't bring out in this animal because of my experience with dealing with dogs, right? Good. So yesterday what you saw was me trying to approach him good, getting into understanding the good when my hands went to my face, right? So when my hands go to my face and I've started the good, he right away gets all excited because he knows what's going to happen next, right? And it's getting him excited because he wants what he wants, right? And so it's bubbling over. It's a form of leaking is what it is. Now you can do two things with this. You can keep trying to drive through is what I call it, where I keep trying to keep pushing on this and trying to convey the thought to him and get past it where I win. That doesn't mean I use aversive. It just means I keep at it until I finally figure a way that I end up getting the concept conveyed to him, and then we get past that behavioral trait. Well, the problem is that he's so young and his mind is so energetic and not, he's flighty, float like a bee, float like a butterfly, like I've talked about before, right? So a lot of times you're better served by breaking pattern, right? Instead of coming out and doing the same pattern, break pattern, do some other things. That's kind of what you see me doing now, but I'm still working within the same pattern. I've loaded the hot dogs up. He heard me. He's in the box. He's excited because he knows he's going to go outside. He hears this is all classical conditioning that's setting in. My pouch is on. These guys aren't stupid. All dogs are not stupid. They see these things, whether you realize it or not. And so that excitement builds. And then we get out here and we start trying to deal with it. Notice he's relaxed when I'm sitting here yakking. As soon as I raise my hands to my face and start trying to deal with that, he'll start barking again, right? So what am I going to do? I'm going to break pattern. I'm going to get away from it and not face it right now. I'm going to let his mind settle with age. He's only 11 weeks old. We still got 12 weeks old. We still got 16 weeks old before we even start going out into environmental, right? There's so much work to do. So that being the case, you have to understand when it's time to break pattern is what I call it. Get away from it and not keep pushing on it. A lot of times you'll have a problem and you'll try to solve that problem and you're aware of it. And so what you end up doing is you go after it so much that you end up making the problem worse, not better. Okay. So understanding when to break pattern to get it good and get away with from things and break it and maybe mix it in a different way, a different format, that he doesn't keep doing that behavior that you don't want him to do. And you're trying to overcome it It's like a wound, and it's got a scab over the top of it. You rip the scab off and it starts to bleed. You've only made it worse. You haven't made it better. You understand what I'm saying? So understanding when to get away from things and when to break pattern is important. As important as you understanding and learning how to use and manipulate pattern and routine to your benefit. Right? And understanding classical conditioning to the point that I've been mentioning already this morning, whether you realize it or not. He's picking up on the sounds. Me cutting the sound of the hot dogs on the counter, the bag that I put into the microwave to heat up. He smells that. He gets used to me coming out every morning and working him right here. See what I'm saying? That's the excitement level that's building. It's building and it's bubbling over, right? You need to learn when to see things and understand it and when to break pattern. And that's kind of what we're going to do right now. I'm not even going to face the good duration marker and putting my hands to my face and trying to keep pushing on him barking. I'm going to get away from it. And I'm going to do other things. I'm going to mix in other things and do other things. We'll come back to that later when he's more mature and more able to handle what we're trying to teach him. Right? You're dealing with a very young, impressionable mind. And again, you have to learn when to not go after things in such a way that you're trying to solve something and you only make it worse. Right? That is experience that tells me that. Right? My guts and my instinct is telling me I would be much better served to not keep pushing on this, ripping the scab off and keep trying. It's only going to make it worse. It's not going to make it better, right? So we're going to do some different things. I'm going to get into my pattern set of the healing at my side and some other things where the good duration marker is there. Remember, the good duration marker is here when we're trying to build that and getting the dog to be patient and wait. But at the same time, I can come in 1,000 different ways. Listen to my sounds. That little lip wag has already been conditioned in. It is getting more and more prevalent with the play that I do with him. I'm always lip wagging when I go into my sack work or my play toys. I'll use these sounds again and again. Sound is something that's very important. So we're going to get away from that good duration marker and pushing on that because, again, I can sense and instinctively know that I'm going to make it worse. I'm not going to make it better. It's important for you to be able to see when it's advantageous to you to break pattern, get away from things, and not keep pushing. We can come back at that later in 1,000 different places. So that's what I'm going to do. Notice how much more sedate he is and settled he is now than where he was when we were going there. You saw that. Good. Nope. 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 Good. Good. And then the hinge would be when I start to do that explosion release into my terminal bridge marker, because that is building excitement too, because there's a stimulation that's involved with that, right? I'm bouncing away from it, right? Again, we're dealing with a very young, impressionable mind, and where's the dog's head at in the work? His emotional states of mind are dictated by breed, by pattern sets, by all kinds of things that are causing that to happen. So again, it's more advantageous to me right now to learn and get you to understand why we want to break pattern. We can come back at that later. We can address it and get the concepts across to him when he's more mature and he's grown through some of this, right? 16 weeks, he's going to change. He's not going to stay the way he is, right? Good. Okay, so notice my chatter. I'm trying to reduce. I'm trying to get him to have no stimulation, less coming in to him as far as sound, my excitement, my voice. Good. And now we'll get a lot better job at teaching him to settle by not trying to go at it that other way, right? Good. And the only thing that gives me the ability to see this is experience, right? Good. Good. There you go. Good. Good. So let me try to just stop yakking to you guys and basically work the dog and let you watch it. Good. Good. My brain goes to different places as well, trying to get him to come up in the back, and I don't want to use a negative by having to poke at his rear end. Good. There you go. That was really light. I can do it lightly like that. I usually do it a little bit more aggressively with a little bit more force, and I can do it more subtly. Yes. Good. 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 Nope. Good. See what I'm doing? I'm adding a positive stimulus by scratching his back when he's in the right position. And I'm doing it real subtly. I'm manipulating his head, whether you realize it or not, with the force he's putting on my nose. You'll see my hand kind of go this way. It's because I'm trying to get him to flip up into the back. Good boy. Good. With me. And we're going to move. Good. Good. There you go. Nope. Man, you little shit. Good. Listen to my voice tone. Nice and calm, right? I'm very keenly aware right now of where the dog's head's going out in the work because that's what we were facing yesterday. And I am better served, the dog is better served when I'm not yakking at the screen trying to split my brain to communicate to you guys versus me just being in the raw working with the animal. So I want to do that. Let you just watch. He's nice. He's got a nice posture in the back right now. That's kind of what I'm working on. That pattern in the back end. And I'm only going to work him until I'm out of hot dogs. And I know pretty much I've got 2 hot dogs that I slice up in the morning. Come on. Good, good. There you go. And this is mix-up. We're mixing something else into the game. We're getting away from the thing we had going on yesterday that's causing a problem. Good. And we're going to something else. We'll let that mind settle. We'll come back to that later in different ways. Good. Trying to set up enough positive by scratching that rear end and he's in a nice position so I can use it. I call it pebbles in the bucket. Positive and negative is what it really boils down to. Positive on one side, negative on the other, and trying to do it enough times in enough 1,000 different ways that he ends up starting to learn from it. Good. Good. That's my boy. Good. Because the overall problem is the excitement level that I can stimulate anytime I want to if I want it. We're trying to teach him to go calm. Good. Nope. Nope. Good. Nope. Now he went over the other side. So break away from it, heel, and then come back to it again and try to get his posture set up into what you want, right? Good. Yep, we're done. We're done. Yay, good boy, good. It's a good example of a nice little short session. And again, getting away from yakking at you guys, it splits my brain and gets me away from it because a lot of this comes from my gut instinct, doing it for so many years that it just is there for me, right? And it really gets back to reading dogs and understanding emotional states of mind in the animal. Good boy, good. Yeah, you ready? Ready? Get it. Oh, good boy. Sounds, right? You ready? Ready. These little cues. The lip wag is a cue. We don't want this, but that's all right. I'm not going to worry about it right now. When I get into a solid surface where I'm on the cement at the park and I can work him in the gazebo at the park, things like that, then you could set this up in your environment. He doesn't care about anything with food right now, which is fine. This is, in a general sense, you don't want the dog sniffing, but this is a good example of how prevalent his nose is. He's got a hell of a nose. And he's shown me that since he's been a baby. When I started cutting those hot dogs up and putting them in the microwave, he right away keenly aware of it, right? There's no more hot dogs in the ground, so I don't have to worry about it. I just let him sniff it out. He's already shown he's going to keep doing this. It gives me he's showing me how good his nose is. Let's put it that way. You could use this and imprint him for nose work real easy. Good boy, good. That's my boy, good. And I would take him towards bomb work because he's a civilian. I can't work with drugs. So the only thing I work with is bomb or for nose work in regards to sport, which would be anise and everything else they do with the nose work in the sport realm, which is fine too if you wanted to get into that. Get it. Yeah, I've been showing him the ball and retrieving lately. I've got 2 balls in my pouch right now. so that he can learn one ball versus another. Trying to show him this is second ball. Take this one away from him. He'll be getting into two ball. We're doing cap. Yes, good boy, good. We'll be doing two ball. A lot of capping type of behavior using two ball. Independence, wanting to go off and take off. And you got to see these little natures of the dog to know what you're going to have to deal with as he grows into all this, right? All right. And all I'm doing is showing him the second ball and giving him another reason to come back to me for the second ball. He doesn't want me to take that one away from him. So these are all things I'm going to be out to face with his nature. Who is the creature? Good, good. That we're dealing with, right? One of those things, don't take the ball away from him. Good boy, good. Get it. Okay, trying to show him the noises that he'll be responding to. Oh, no, boy, good. Good boy, good. You ready? Ready? Yeah, good boy. Good boy. Trying to let him see a second ball so he starts registering the fact that there's two balls in the game, right? Good boy, good. Yes. Good boy, good. There you go. Good boy. Good, yes. Oh, what happened? There's two of them. Yay. So it'll take a little time for him to figure out there's two balls instead of just one that he wants to be possessive with and taking off with, right? Good boy, good. Good boy, good. Where'd it go? Ready? Get it. Good boy. Give me a behavior. Ask for a behavior and then give him what he wants. All right, we're out of here, guys. A lot of little challenges with this beast. Going to be a hell of a dog, but we've got to get all these little things put together, the pieces in the puzzle. All right? Talk to you later. Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training, and Big Boy. And take a big boy. Talk to you later.